This is Cleveland. The people, the neighborhoods, the stories that make our city strong. At TV20, our mission is simple: to connect Clevelanders with people, programs, resources, and moments that shape our city. As the City of Cleveland's official television station, we bring residents closer to local government, community events, health programs, local sports, cultural celebrations, and inspiring stories from across the city. From City Hall to city blocks, TV20 is here to inform, engage, and celebrate the people of Cleveland. Because this is more than television. This is access. This is transparency. This is community. This is Cleveland's voice. TV20, we are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland. We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland and proud of it.
At TV20, we believe Cleveland stories deserve to be seen, heard, and celebrated. This year, TV20 is proud to receive 4 Emmy nominations, honoring powerful stories about Cleveland police and Cleveland Fire, a program bringing hope to kids with cancer, and a conversation reflecting on the brotherhood, legacy, and service of Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated. These nominations belong to the people of Cleveland, the residents, families, first responders, community voices, and neighborhoods whose stories shape our city and inspire us every single day. TV20, we are Cleveland. Cleveland, your stories are Emmy-worthy. This is Cleveland. The people, the neighborhoods, the stories that make our city strong. At TV20, our mission is simple: to connect Clevelanders with people, programs, resources, and moments that shape our city. As the City of Cleveland's official television station, we bring residents closer to local government, community events, health programs, local sports, cultural celebrations, and inspiring stories from across the city. From City Hall to city blocks, TV20 is here to inform, engage, and celebrate the people of Cleveland. Because this is more than television. This is access. This is transparency. This is community. This is Cleveland's voice. TV20, we are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland. We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland. We are Cleveland and proud of it.
At TV20, we believe Cleveland stories deserve to be seen, heard, and celebrated. This year, TV20 is proud to receive 4 Emmy nominations, honoring powerful stories about Cleveland police and Cleveland Fire, a program bringing hope to kids with cancer, and a conversation reflecting on the brotherhood, legacy, and service of Alpha Phi Alpha Incorporated. These nominations belong to the people of Cleveland, the residents, families, first responders, community voices, and neighborhoods whose stories shape our city and inspire us every single day. TV20, we are Cleveland. Cleveland, your stories are Emmy-worthy.
As Malcolm X once said, Black women are the most disrespected and the most vulnerable people in our society.
It's a message that hits close to home in Northeast Ohio, where advocates say Black women and girls are still being failed.
Cleveland was designated as one of the worst cities for Black women and girls.
Project Noir, a survey taken by hundreds of local Black women, reflects those experiences.
We were able to study and research over 1,300 Black women about their workplaces, about their healthcare experiences and their education experiences.
From that came the creation of the Cleveland Commission on Black Women and Girls.
I'm so excited to finally be kicking off this important commission.
Now, community voices are shaping solutions and pushing Cleveland toward a more equitable future.
When Black women are doing better, absolutely everybody will be doing better.
Hello, and thank you for joining us for this town hall this evening. I'm Kierra Cotton, co-anchor of TV20 Cleveland News. Welcome to a discussion about the Cleveland Commission on Black Women and Girls, the survey that created action, the action that's aiming to create policy change, and what Clevelanders can do to get involved. Before we introduce tonight's panelists, let's take a look at how the Cleveland Commission on Black Women and Girls first began.
Hello, I'm Chichi Nkemera. I'm the principal at Enlightened Solutions, which is a 501c3 racial and gender justice think tank headquartered here in Cleveland, Ohio. Project Noir is a research study that studies the lived experiences of Black women here in Northeast Ohio. And this came about because of some research that was published from City Lab Bloomberg and the University of Pittsburgh that was looking at regions that had over 100,000 Black women in them. And what they found is that Cleveland ranked at the bottom of livable cities for Black women. That's under healthcare, education, and workplaces. When I first saw that study, I was really inspired and galvanized to actually speak to Black women and actually learn about their experiences in the workplace, learn about their healthcare experiences, and learn about how they were being educated. And more than that, how we could actually stem the tide and change things here in Northeast Ohio for Black women so that this can be a region where women can thrive. Back in 2021, when then candidate, newly elected Mayor Justin Bibb was putting together his transition team, he tapped Enlightened Solutions to write about equity in action, specifically around race and economics. I want to tell people, the first in the nation, there are many commissions on equity around women's issues, children's issues, poverty, but there has never been a commission that is around equity around Black women and girls specifically. The hardest thing to experience is when your voice is taken away from you. A commission on Black women and girls allows Black women and girls to be able to be active participants within their own society, and more than that, they are able to grab the microphone and solve the problems that we're seeing within our systems.
Now that we have that background, let's meet our panelists for this evening. Up first, we have Chichi Nkemra, principal at Enlightened Solutions, Councilwoman Stephanie Howse Jones. To my left, Commissioner Lita Marie Wills, and last but certainly not least, Commission Chair Kathryn Hall. Ladies, thank you all so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
So we're going to jump right into the questions. Today we're going to be talking about a variety of topics, but first let's discuss the goal of the Cleveland Commission on Black Women and Girls. For that, we're going to hear from Commission Chair Kathryn Hall.
So the goal of the commission is to engage Black women and girls across Northeast Ohio. We want to hear their voices, and we want to work in collaboration with them to come up with solutions to some of the problems that they have. We can't be all things to all people, but we look at ourselves as a conduit. We're looking at policy changes, and we work with legislators around those issues. We look at resources that are in the community, because some of the issues that people have, there are some resources, but we believe that they're not aware of them. So knowledge is power. So one of our biggest keys is to make sure that we provide resources on our sites. At every meeting that we have, public meetings where we get input from the community, we make sure that we bring resources out to the community. We also collaborate with those organizations that are already approaching some of the solutions to some of the problems. We are also mandated to go after additional funding to solve some of those issues as well. But so that kind of gives you a quick overview of what we're doing.
Absolutely, we appreciate that insight. Now we're going to get into our questions. These questions will be centered around healthcare, education, and justice and civil rights. So we'll begin with the topic of healthcare. The Project Noir survey found 56% of respondents have been spoken down to about their symptoms or health. 35% said that they were told that their health issues are in their head or not real, and 42% said that they were made to wait while other patients with less severe issues were seen. Startling statistics there, as we have heard, but I guess we want to open with the first question is, what challenges has the Commission identified for Black women and girls within healthcare?
Sure, I'm so glad you asked that. I think systemically, it boils down to accessing care that's appropriate for us and where we feel welcomed, but also cost. We know we're in a world of hurt with ACA premium rollbacks, issues happening with Medicaid and Medicare, but then also individually looking at actual health issues, getting a diagnosis, understanding things in a preventive manner. That also boils down to us being able to have care and a rapport with our healthcare provider and our healthcare teams so that we are comfortable enough to access healthcare before something is in an emergency situation, right? Sure. And so that takes a lot of work on the healthcare side of things to standardize and normalize welcoming care for Black women and care that understands and responds to Black women.
Yeah, that integral system is very, very important, which brings us to our next question is, and I'll have Chichi answer this one, what role do local healthcare systems play in improving the quality of life for Black women and girls?
Thank you for that. I think that our healthcare systems have a two-pronged relationship and necessary responsibility, and I think it really boils down to retention and recruitment. In our healthcare systems, we know that Black patients, Black families more broadly are best suited and are afforded the best healthcare by Black providers. And again, we have 4 world-class healthcare institutions here in Northeast Ohio. We should be filling the walls of these healthcare institutions with Black providers. One that we researched in Enlightened Solutions was the prevalence of nurse midwives. I don't know if you know, but 92% of nurse midwives in the American College of Nurse Midwives are white. We have a lack of nurse midwives here, not only in the state of Ohio, but nationally. Can you think about what we could do here to change the status of Black maternal health care and more broadly health care in general for Black people and Black families if we had a wealth of nurse midwives, if we had a wealth of Black providers here in Northeast Ohio? So I definitely think that our healthcare systems not only should be educating healthcare professionals for them to leave the state, but healthcare professionals that can stay and retain here in Northeast Ohio.
Incredible. Thank you for sharing that information. And you mentioned 92% nurse midwives are white.
Yes.
What a startling statistic.
Yes.
With such an integral, like bringing life into the world is so essential. And so how is the commission addressing high maternal mortality rates among Black women and babies? How do we circumvent that statistic?
Well, I don't want to step over the commissioners here, but I can jump in and say that there are organizations already doing this work. Village of Healing in Euclid, and now they've opened a second location, is a trailblazer, not just providing competent healthcare for Black families and providing Black providers for Black families, but in general showing the importance of this, speaking about this, and more than that, recruiting Black providers into their walls. But I know that the commission has
we also been working with Birth and Beautiful Communities. It's building a facility in the neighborhood. One of the things we also do is we're making sure that medical professionals are represented on the commission. Okay. So one of our biggest things that we embrace is teaching people how to be an advocate for themselves in the health system, because some people just don't know what their rights are. And so teaching them about how to approach a physician and how to push back when they get that kind of care or lack of care.
Right. It's important that we share this knowledge, and we thank you all so much for joining us. So that was our healthcare segment of this town hall. Our next topic is going to be education. In this area, the Project Noir survey found 54% of respondents said that they were excluded or felt excluded from educational advancement opportunities, including in professional development. So with that information, we open up with the first question, which you're going to see a reoccurring theme this evening. What challenges has the commission identified for Black women and girls within education? Councilwoman, I'll let you take the lead on that.
So again, as you just noted, that was one of the things that people have indicated has been a challenge within education. Girls and women alike are not given those opportunities to be in those high earning career options, which it starts really young. So as you transition into college and professionals, if you're not putting into the AP classes, honor classes, college tracks, then you are already behind the 8 ball. Another thing when you talk about education is just the experience in going to school. You know, this is thing called safe routes to school, right? How our girls are not feeling safe even going to school, which many times diminishes their opportunity to want to go to school. If you think incidents have occurred to you, being kind of being a bit vulnerable, right? That is a challenge within our educational system. And then I would say finally, really a thing around education is because we are in a capitalist system, people having the financial acumen, and or literacy to be able to not just save, but invest in credit and things of that nature. This level of financial literacy, as women live longer than men, we are living really, really long, and understanding that is a thing that is crucial within the education spectrum. And we know just that disconnect of financial literacy is really prevalent here within the city of Cleveland amongst Black women and girls.
Yeah. Would anyone else like to add to that?
I can definitely say that education is necessary, obviously, for Black women, but we like to tie this as an economic issue as well for Black women and girls. The higher your education, the higher your earning power is going to be.
Yeah. We all want higher earning power.
Yes, we do.
Me, myself included. What resources and action are needed within education to support and elevate Black women and girls? We've identified some setbacks and hindrances that Black women and girls may face, but how can we counteract those things?
So one of the things I would say is that it starts in your own home. If you have kids in your home or relatives in your home, not in your home or in your family, check in with them. What are they up against? Have a conversation with them. Adopt a kid. You know, be a leader by representation. Show up. Be the mentor. Be that solution you want to be in the mirror. Educate and expose them to things that they might not have an opportunity to go to. Plays, theater, all of those kinds of things. When we had our community meetings, the feedback that we got from young girls, and we made sure to include them in those community meetings, is they wanted to have a voice. So having those uncomfortable conversations where they tell you what they are really up against and what they need.
Gigi, would you like to add?
I can definitely say that we need to stop treating Black women and girls' resilience as an infinite resource. Just because we are resilient doesn't mean that we need to consistently be taxed and overtaxed here. Black women deserve rest, Black girls deserve rest. And I think that within our education systems, the best way to do that is to make sure that we are supporting Black women. So just as the commissioner said, supporting them by mentorship, but not this over mentorship, right? Allowing Black girls to dream and think creatively and think about their own life paths, and more than that, supporting them in that.
Yeah, you mentioned that support, and so often we hear the phrase, it takes a village.
Really
Talk to me about how the community can play a role in supporting all of this.
Well, corporations can put money where their mouth is.
Okay.
We have a number of jobs available out here, and we know that in the future there won't be people to take those jobs. And not just high-level jobs, at every level job. So putting your money where your mouth is as a corporation, seeing where you can make a difference and where you can put that money in, and your team members can actually mentor and go into schools, adopt a school within the neighborhood. And I just want to clarify, when we talk about Black women and girls, we're talking about every Black woman and girl at every level, not just those that want to go to college, because everybody doesn't want to go to college, okay?
Or need to.
Right. Absolutely. But so we are very adamant that when we talk about the work that we're doing it across the entire community at every level.
Can any of you share a testimony or an experience that you've had where you've seen community at work?
I mean, I see that all the time.
That would be the answer.
You absolutely see it all the time. I would just say, just even within the commission, we have an education subcommittee. Like really right now, you have a group of educators, practitioners that are coming together to put together a summer toolkit. We know that summer school, summer enrichment is not going to be as long as we want, right? So right now there are a group of women putting together a toolkit to make it available to communities. Where one people won't do, there are a group of people that will do, right? You have everything, like Cleveland Pearls. I'm gonna give them a shout out, a girls group that is doing amazing work. I just went, there's a woman named Tia Otu that did an enrichment, like a girls summit that was in partnership with Cleveland Clinic. You're talking about hundreds of girls that came to be connected. I tell people every day, every week, there is somebody doing amazing work to lift up. It may not be enough, but I'm telling y'all, we have some amazing organizations and leaders that are doing the work, and we have to do what we can to connect them to one another so they can, for all of the things that might get us down and depressed, there are so many things that can bring us joy.
Yeah. And that's why we're adamant about being that bridge to resources. Because if people don't know over here what's going on over there, they can't access it.
One thing I wanted to add, Chi mentioned it and Kathryn mentioned it when you talked about pathways and you talked about exposure. One thing that us everyday Black women can do, we are the most educated people in this society. And so it is so important for us, to younger generations and to our peers, to be visible. Let people see where we came from, let people see our path and the pathways that we took to get where we are. That is so important, to be an example and to be available and visible.
And tell your story. Sure. Because people will look at folks like us and say, ooh, I can't do that.
Right.
But when you hear our story, and yes, we grew up in the hood, and I went to Cleveland Public Schools, and I overcame this and that, then you say, oh, it's a possibility for me. So being honest about who you are and how you got to where you were.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is, again, that visibility component, making sure that we show up and be present in our communities so that we can enact change. And which, speaking of, that brings us to our next topic, which is justice and civil rights. So the first question, again, as we've been repeating all evening long, is what are the most pressing civil rights concerns facing Black women and girls in Cleveland today? I know that's a loaded question, ladies. I know it's a loaded question, but
starts in Washington.
I'll keep mine very brief. I will say there are a litany of different issues that Black women are facing here in justice and as it relates to civil rights, but hyper-focusing on the workplace. In the Project Noir research, we looked at the ways that DEI was being used as a coded slur against Black women and girls. I actually did a Google search to see how often DEI was used as a slur against Black women from the years of 2022 to 2024, and it has skyrocketed. What we need to understand here in Northeast Ohio is that workplace abuse and workplace discrimination remains prevalent, even if people are not speaking up about it. Even if we are not able to speak out about it, it is happening every day. And more than that, Black women are speaking about it with each other, and we are being each other's confidants with that. The issue is, what are our systems doing to protect Black women who are in the workplace? What are our systems doing to make sure that the next generation of Black women are not experiencing the same negative effects right now? So I'm definitely pressuring our systems, as everybody knows. I'm never afraid to speak up. But more than that, what are we doing day to day to make sure that the next generation of Black women and girls are not receiving the same negative effects?
Anyone else? I would love to hear.
I am very, very hyper-focused on things that are related to social determinants of health, and to me, the things that are keeping really everyone in this country, but especially hitting Black women hard from moving forward and getting a leg up, is the astronomical costs around housing. I think that's a civil rights issue, as well as the astronomical costs around childcare.
For sure.
Anyone else before?
I would
okay.
Employment, housing, and childcare.
Yes. Transportation.
Yes.
That's it.
The cost of life.
Right.
Okay. All of you have very strong voices, as you mentioned. On the commission, have you guys recommended any policy changes to the city or council?
So we are, our different committee work that's happening is beginning to pick out what our policy platforms and agendas are for this year. But in the past, we have definitely supported a few things and made sure that we were putting our voices behind when the city passed the Equal Pay Initiative, as well as Tanisha's Law, focusing on how law enforcement intervenes in mental health cases. And then also we were supportive of the county's passage of the Crown Act in the workplace.
Well, we appreciate all the work that you guys are doing. And again, we thank you so much for being on our panel this evening. We are fortunate enough to have a live audience here with us this evening. So we are now going to open it up to questions. Does anyone in the audience have a question? Please state your name ahead of your question.
My name is Delaney, and I'm appreciative of the panel and the information that you've shared so far. I'm curious to know, what would success look like for the Commission's health work in the next year?
What would success look like in the health world? You know,
health work?
Yes.
Oh, you're looking at me.
Yes.
I think for us, for the commission, success looks like when we're able to definitively show up and listen and understand the pressing health concerns of Black women in Cleveland, but also being able to create some policy messaging that gets the attention of our healthcare providers as well as our employers. All of our healthcare is tied to our employment. And so being able to create some policy messages and agendas that we are getting from Black women in this area and putting forward to the people who can listen and make decisions. So we're looking forward to bringing that policy platform to the mayor and to city council and hoping to expand that even broader.
I think also it would look like success as the mortality rate went down for Black women giving birth and Black babies who are born. if those numbers continue to go down with the work we're doing and the resources that are in our community.
Do we have a second question?
Thank you all to our panelists for sure for sharing your insight. Tiffany Scruggs here. I was just curious, how do we point our residents to learn more about the purpose of the commission, and some of us in the room that just aren't clear on the future of the commission and the goals? Thank you.
I think it's important. We are working on this website, and an email distribution list. Those are like two things that we are really working to build up. So we really would encourage people to connect with us for the Cleveland Commission on Black Women and Girls. Any type of search, you can connect with us. Also, invite us. Like, I think there is something to actually invite us. We do want to have been getting outside of City Hall to host our meetings. And so if you have a place within the city of Cleveland where you want us to come, to go, to host, invite us. And if nothing else, you could just call my office, 216-664-2908. I think that's really important for people to actually have a number to call. Be like, I can't get into all this because I know everybody doesn't do social media and things like that. But you can always call us and then we can connect that way.
We love that.
And
Okay.
then we've been invited when things are going on in the community. So we may not host a meeting at your site, but we are more and more, our individual commissioners are coming out to support things where we are invited. And so
Tabling. Yeah, we'll come and bring our information to your events.
Okay.
And that's key because we are all about collaboration.
Yeah.
We don't do this work in a vacuum, and we can't solve everybody's problems overnight. But we believe that we are the conduit to bring resources and information together.
Incredible. We have time for one last question.
Good evening, ladies. Thank you so much for being here and sharing more information about the commission with us. My name is Keisha Chambers. My question is about the survey work, and kudos for your efforts in pulling together that survey and then sharing your data. Is there a plan for the commission to repeat that survey and provide maybe periodic metric updates on where we are as Black women in the city of Cleveland?
Absolutely, yes. Now, figuring out the budget, it's all about the money. Who gonna pay for it? But that's one of the things, as Chichi and her team looked at women, we really absolutely know there is a need to include the voice of Black girls here in the city of Cleveland. And that is a space where we know there is a void. And prayerfully, by the end of this year, we will have a plan of what it would look like, what it will cost, and who is gonna pay for it to actually get it done in 2027.
I'll also add, in the interim, there's always opportunities to get involved with Enlightened Solutions. You can look us up online, Enlightened Solutions Cleveland. We are constantly doing research. I am a nerd with a laptop, so any problem, I will absolutely find the solution to it. But more than that, we're also looking to hyper-focus on all three of those areas. So if you have a workplace issue, have a healthcare issue, an education issue, and you want to peel some of that data away, definitely look and find Enlightened Solutions, and we'll be right there.
Incredible. Well, friends, today we've heard from our panelists, heard the concerns from the audience. And so now let's talk about next steps. Kathryn, I'll turn this over to you. What does moving forward look like? How can viewers get involved? And what steps can allies take? I know lots of questions, but we'll sift through.
So our next steps is we are currently putting together our agenda for 2026. We've actually had a couple community meetings this year. We are actually focusing on, for each of those subcommittees, what are the 3 things we're going to work on this year. That's going to be elevated on our website under City Hall, the Black Women and Girls Commission. And we're also going to be putting together subcommittees that include not just the commissioners, but people from the community. So people that want to get involved in those things, within the next 60 days, you'll see what we're working on. You'll see how you'll be able to get involved, and you'll see how to sign up for that. And allies, if you're an ally and you have some money that you want to put your money where your mouth is, one of my charges is to raise money for the surveys and the information. So if there is a foundation, a corporation, an individual who wants to make a difference for Black women and girls in this community, they need to reach out to me and we'll make that collaboration happen.
Absolutely incredible. Well, that does it for us. I want to thank all of our panelists for their time and discussions tonight. I also want to thank the audience, our live audience who's here with us, and to everyone at home watching. This has been a conversation on TV20 Cleveland about the Cleveland Commission on Black Women and Girls. I'm Kierra Cotton with TV20 Cleveland. We'll see you next time.